Motherhood is its own kind of choreography. There's no music, no medals, no audience. Just the rhythm of routines, the weight of responsibility, and the quiet grace of showing up again and again. I used to think skating was the hardest thing I'd ever do. The early mornings, the bruises, the pressure to perform, but Motherhood rewrote the definition of grit. It's the kind of strength that doesn't shout. The kind that folds laundry with tired hands and whispers prayers over sleeping children. The kind that holds space for tantrums and dreams in the same breath. And in the middle of all that, between the job delays and the creative rebuilding, I found myself learning a new kind of balance. Not on blades, but on faith. There were days I felt like I was skating on thin ice emotionally. Days when the weight of waiting felt heavier than any routine I'd ever performed. Days when I questioned if I was doing enough, being enough, becoming enough. But then I'd look at my children, their eyes, their laughter, their trust, and I'd remember, this is the legacy I'm building. Not just through posts or projects, but through presence. Through the way I speak life into them. Through the way I model resilience, even when the world feels uncertain. I started to see my story not just as mine, but as a seed. Something they could grow from, something they could stand on. Because if they ever face delays, I want them to know that waiting isn't wasted. If they ever fall, I want them to know that grace is stronger than gravity. If they ever feel unseen, I want them to remember that God sees everything, even the quiet fight. So I kept writing, kept mentoring, kept praying, not because everything was perfect, but because everything was purposeful. I began to understand that the rink wasn't just a place I performed, it was a metaphor for life, for motherhood, for ministry. Every fall taught me how to rise. Every bruise reminded me I was still alive. Every routine, landed or not, was a testament to trying. And isn't that what motherhood is? Trying, trusting, teaching, turning ordinary moments into sacred ones. I started sharing more of those moments online. Not just the polished ones, but the messy ones. The ones where I was tired, but still hopeful. The ones where I didn't have answers, but I had faith. And people responded. They didn't need perfection. They needed permission to be real, to be raw, to be resilient. That's when I knew my story was becoming a lifeline. Not just for me, not just for my children, but for every woman who needed to know that her quiet fight mattered. So I kept skating, across the page, through the pain, into the promise. Because this legacy, it's not just about what I build, it's about who I become. A mother who rises, a mentor who reflects, a woman who refuses to quit. And one day, when my children look back, I hope they see more than posts and prayers. I hope they see a woman who fought with grace, who loved with grit, who built something beautiful from the broken. Because that's what skating taught me, and that's what motherhood refined. The music may change, the routines may shift, but the legacy, it's laced into every step. And I will keep skating faithfully, fiercely, and with love beneath my feet.